Welcome back, guys. Max here, and today, as you can see, we're on Brusilov Keep yet again, except this time we are going to look at some of the other guns other than the Mosin Nagant, which all know I had a raging hard on for that particular gun, and we've already covered it. So in this video today, what I want to do is I want to go over all the other variants. I don't want to make 13 different videos each detailing one particular gun. I watch that on YouTube all the time. It drives me nuts. So I'm just going to smash it all into one video. As you know by now, I have a habit of knocking everything out in one bounce. And so what I did is I played with all the different variants within this game, and I'm going to give you a viewpoint on them as we go and try and cover it all that way. Hence the reason this video is about 11 minutes or so long rather than the usual kind of 6 or 7, which I much prefer. So anyway, without further ado, before I continue with my babble, rent a servers this weekend. So there is a sub server. I am renting a sub server for you guys. If you wish to play, you wish to participate, it's going to be on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock during the live stream. I will send it live. Actually, I lie. It is live right now. If you are a member of the platoon, you have access to that server. If you get stuck, if you have problems, you can't get access to it, I will leave the password in the description of this video. Just check back in there and you'll get access to the server if you can't get access to it if you're not a member of the platoon. So if you are a member of the platoon, you should get straight in, and if you're not, you will need the password, in which case check in this video. See if you can populate it out. I've put some conquest game modes in there, a couple of other little things and different game modes on some of the DLC maps as well as regular vanilla maps. Gave it, there's 13 maps in there on a different rotation. Some of it's domination, some of it's deathmatch, some of it's conquest. Let me know before Saturday what you think, and it gives me the opportunity to tweak it, twist it, and have a little bit more fun with it, so that when Saturday comes around, we're not wasting a whole bunch of time setting up servers and all that kind of stuff. It does take a little bit of time for it to populate and re-update when you change the rules within the server, and nobody wants to sit in a live stream for 20 minutes waiting for it to update and listen to me babble about absolutely nothing whatsoever. So do that down below. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, and we'll take it from there. Now, back to this. Fedorov Avtomat. This is the trench version, which is what I started out with. I've never played with it before. Jumped in a game earlier today and tried to go off and have a little bit of fun with it and see what was what. And I have to say, this is going to be the new medic go-to gun without a shadow of a doubt. Before I continue banging on about this, look at the weather. Thought this was actually kind of cool. So we've got dynamic weather, we've got dynamic daytime, nighttime. This map starts off in kind of the morning, very crisp. You get that kind of weird, crispy, clear blue skies and stuff like that. And then it turns like this poor guy. Then it turns like this, and it actually goes darker as the map plays on. I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, back to the Fedorov Avtomat. I think this is going to be the new medic go-to. The fire rate on this gun is absolutely superb. I have absolutely no idea what it is. My guess is it's going to be somewhere around 650, something like that, maybe a little slower, maybe even 550 in line with the MP18, but it certainly belts the bullets out like no other, and it's an absolute ton of fun, and I believe it's something that the medic class has been lacking for a very long time. The guys of you that like to play super hardcore medic have been screaming for a gun like this. The only real gun that is a contender is the 8.25 extended, and that's because of its fire rate, but its damage is not quite as high. Now, this thing doesn't put out the same kind of damage as, say, the Stealth Slider. It doesn't look like it does a 3-shot kill to me, but it's certainly what it makes up for, and its punching power makes up for in the fact that you can just literally spew bullets out the front of this thing. Did have a problem with running out of ammunition. Am a little bit trigger happy, so and not particularly accurate in this game either. The hit detection wasn't particularly brilliant, and found myself maybe using more bullets than perhaps I normally would have done, but I switched it up to the optical version here. Do prefer the optical version over the trench. I think the trench has its place, but I prefer something with some form of optic on it, and so I switched it up to the optical to try and give you guys a viewpoint of both sides of the field. Not the greatest gameplay in the whole wide world, but does give you some sort of an idea as to how these guns both look and play. I'm assuming this is the top tier camo that I put on here. I can't honestly remember. Looks absolutely superb. Love the way it fires and all that kind of fun stuff. Its recoil is actually very, very manageable. It is absolutely useless at long range, I will say that. Anything beyond heavy medium range and you are going to start running into some problems unless you single shot fire this gun and stop spraying it around like I am, like a complete maniac. But beyond medium range, you're going to run into a few problems with it. It's not that accurate at those ranges, but certainly on maps such as St. Quentin Scar, Amiens for sure, this gun is going to be an absolute powerhouse for sure. And on this map, it works out absolutely terrific, so long as you pick up your run routes. And as you can see, we have these guys spawn trapped on their spawn. So I have said in the past that I didn't think this gun, I didn't think the map was although it's linear in layout like Suez, I didn't think it was going to play out like Suez. But I have to say, I played 3 games earlier on today, or yesterday I should say, and both times, or 3 times, we spawn trapped the other team on this spawn in exactly the same fashion we're doing right now. There are 2 different games amalgamated into one here, and both times we spawn trapped them back at their spawn, having even mixed up the teams and some players changed from side to side and all that fun stuff. So I have a horrible feeling that we may be seeing a return of Suez because of its linear layout, but I'm hoping that I'll be wrong. There are more flanking routes on this map, that's for sure, and so I'm hoping that we'll get a little bit more flanking going on, and maybe not spawn trapping all the time, but certainly in the 2 games I played we did. Right, here we are. We're into the new support LMG. This thing is glitched out of its arse. You just saw it right there. Every time you lie down on your belly to spray and play, and again, this would have worked out perfectly. The whole enemy team is spawning down here. All I wanted to do was pitch up, get this thing super laser beam accurate, and then just start blasting these guys willy-nilly. And this is what happens when you don't keep an eye on your bullet count as a support player. You run out of ammunition, and then you try and have to pistol shoot them. Now, I don't know if that's dodgy bullet detection or whether or not that I am out of range for the pistol, but I can't see that being the case. I'm going to put it down to dodgy bullet detection. But the reload animation on this gun is absolutely fantastic. Right there, all you saw was him change the drum out. But if you try and change out this drum magazine when there's only a handful of bullets or whatever left into it, then he actually does this weird spinning rotation with the drum magazine before he pulls it out. It's kind of cool, and I thought that was a lot of fun. But as you can see, that turn to the left hand side has got absolutely nothing to do with me whatsoever. Every time you come off the optic, the gun pulls itself to the left. I have read elsewhere and seen other videos about that there is a glitch in the game. I was hoping by changing the gun, which I did this time, I went from the suppressive version, and this I believe is the low weight version. I switched over to this, and as you could saw just then, it even does it when you hit the leaning animation on the side of a building. It turns the gun off to the left. There it is again. I thought by changing the gun that maybe it would fix that, but it didn't. What I will say about this gun is, look at this. It fires so fast. It is an absolute powerhouse up close. I can see, once it's fixed, and I have no doubt DICE will fix this, I can see the support class running this gun. You're going to see this gun left, right, and centre and all over the place. Now, when it does work, when you pitch it up, see, there's the left-hand thing again. When it does work, it's an absolute laser beam, like all of them are. The more you fire it, and certainly if you've got the bipod deployed like I do right now, it's an absolute laser beam, and it will take out people all over the map. Its fire rate is absolutely on point. I don't think, to be perfectly honest with you, out of any of these guns, any of them really need a fantastic amount of tuning. I think the fire rate on this gun is absolutely perfect. I think the recoil value on the gun, certainly when you're running around and all that kind of stuff, is great. It does have a fairly sensible hip fire. It's got that lumbering kind of feel to it that you get from running a support class LMG, which is perfectly in line with the gun. And I think all in all, it's very well balanced, and I certainly like the aftermath. I like the balance of that. I like its fire rate, and I like the recoil pattern across distance that they put into it. So here we are. Now you see I've changed out yet again. I've put the AA sights. Now this allegedly was the contender to knock the mighty Hellriegel off its throne, and so I thought I'd give this a spin up and see what it's like. And I can say right here, right now, as this gun stands, if it makes it into the core game, you are going to see a ton of Hellriegels back on the map. This gun is not a contender for that title. It does contain 81 bullets in its magazine, but it is in no way going to knock the Hellriegel off of its platform. There's absolutely no way in hell. Didn't like the AA sight, so I switched it out. I much prefer, this sight seems to me to be a little bit cleaner. And I like the ability to be able to aim down the optic and see what I'm shooting at a little bit better. And bear in mind that the CTE is extraordinarily grainy. and things can be a little bit hard to see. And the variant I'm playing with now is by far my favorite. I love it with an optical on there. I'm a big optical guy. I do prefer an optical, and this is the optical variant of the same gun in the assault class. This thing's an absolute monster, and absolutely love it. But it's like I say, it's not going to knock the Hellriegel off its top tier status without a shadow of a doubt. And so there we are. I did try the other guns, guys. The other gun, the General Liu, is kind of like the 1906. Couldn't get any sensible gameplay out of it. Don't like the gun in any way, shape or form. So hence the reason you don't see that. And I don't play with shotguns, so you're not going to see any gameplay from that. But if you wish to send me some gameplay of you playing superbly with a shotgun, I will certainly put it on the channel and put it out there for the world to see. And obviously tell the world that it's yours, not mine. And we can get a better review of the shotguns. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. The video is going to wrap up now. Here you go again. Spawn trapping them in there, Spawn. And I'll catch up with you guys with another video tomorrow where I want to talk about turning tides. Some interesting stuff there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, guys. Hope you find the content interesting. And I'll catch you guys in a new video tomorrow when we're talking about turning tides, which comes out in December right after this. So thanks, guys. Ta-da.